Hi, today I'm going to show you how to actually install a screen. Over here, it is actually a 100-inch Fresnel screen that I'm going to install today and show this step-by-step guide, and total there'll be 5 steps to do the installation of the screen. But this applies to all of the screen, be it you use the lenticular screen that is actually meant for ultra short throw, or you're using a long throw screen. The concept of fixing a fixed screen is similar. Now, fixed screen is actually being defined that it's actually using aluminum frame at the border. So look at this. This is actually the long bar, and this is actually the short bar, okay, which is actually meant for the side. So the long bar that is meant for the top and bottom, some of them will actually comes in 2 parts. So which means to say one long bar is actually being cut into half and come in 2 parts. So for those, you just need to actually use the screws and one metal plate to actually secure the 2 short bars into one single long bar. Now, so just to go through some of the parts. Now, the silver part is actually the aluminum, which is meant to be interconnected, right? And the other one, which is the black part, is actually the outer frame that's going to be put on top of this aluminum frame at the last stage of installation, right? And you see this white rounded pole over here is to insert into the frame, which I will show you later on. Now, what you're seeing right in the middle right here is actually there will be a toolbox, whereby there will be some tools that has actually been included, and this pack over here, which is again in the toolbox as well, are the hooks. So let me go through the 5 step by step for you. So as mentioned, these are the pack of hooks. So let me just put the hooks aside. By the way, the very first step of the very step 1 is to fix the aluminum frame. So to fix the aluminum frame, first you have to actually bring out this angle bar, this angle connector that connects the 2 corners of the aluminum frame. So let me just put aside on this box, right? Put an angle bar, and you will have a similar tool like that, right? Whereby one end is actually on the screwdriver, the other end is the hook. But some of the toolbox come with a different kind of tool for you to hook the hooks. So for this particular one, all right, now we want to do screwing, and I'm going to put this, right, and use this Phillips screw to do the connection. So now insert this corner bar, all right, into the aluminum bar. So there'll be, like I said, there'll be a top bar and the bottom bar. Now, over here at the angle, all right, try to actually make this a 90 degree over here, right? Try your very best to make it as 90 degree, but sometimes it just go off a little bit, which is still okay. Next, find this screw, right? Naturally use the screwdriver, tighten the screw. Now, because now you're only doing the very first corner, so do not make it fully tightened, but just put the screw in place, but do not fully secure and tighten them for now. So repeat this process for the entire four corners of the screen, and you'll form the entire triangle. So I'll proceed to do the 4 corners of the screen, and I'll come back with a fixed screen in a moment. Look, the screen is actually being fixed right now, whereby all the 4 corners are actually being secured. So now we proceed on to step 2, which is to place the fabric, or should I say the front screen. So I'm going to show you how. So the next step now is that I'll remove the aluminum frame, right, and place the screen on the floor. Now, currently take note that for this particular Fresnel screen is actually packed in such a way that is actually being rolled on a horizontal manner, meaning to say they take the longer length. But for most of the screen is actually packed based on the vertical length, which is actually this particular length, and roll. So you have to put that particular screen and roll it over in this way. But for lenticular screen, because the material of the Fresnel screen, the material of the Fresnel screen is actually harder. So what they do is that at factory side, they actually roll in the horizontal manner. So now I'm going to actually remove all this material, the packing material, and the screen will actually open up. Now do take note that do not remove the so-called cotton layer of wrap away from the floor now, because you still need that to protect your screen. That's number one. Number two, before you open up the screen, remember to clear your floor. Ensure there is no sharp objects, screws or whatever that is actually on the floor, or even dirt. So good to clean your floor, to make it clean before you actually unwrap your screen. So the screen now is actually being placed on the floor. Now take note on something. Now for this Fresnel screen, or most of the screen, is that the front material is actually in grey color. I repeat, in grey color. At the back is usually in dark color. In this case, all Fresnel is actually in black color fabric right at the back. So a frequently asked question is, how would you know which side of the screen is pointing up or down? Not to worry too much on that, because pay attention in here. The sticker over here actually do an indication of up and down. Some of the screen have the indication of the sticker at the side over here, and you'll be able to see which one is up and which one is down. So just now my camera was actually placed there. I shift my camera here, and now I'm going to zoom in to the particular label. So with the label over here, you see that this is actually going to be the bottom, right? Bottom part, and you need to actually face up. Look, we're still on the second step. So now, still continue to fix the screen. So over here, we actually have the small little pole, right? Now, what is this meant for? We need to actually put this pole that is actually through this small little gap over here of the screen. So you have the vertical pole and the horizontal pole, right? So what you need to do is just put it in, right, and insert all the way fully. Ideally, it goes and hide inside exactly of this edge. And similarly, to the other end, you also try to hide them. Now, but this particular one, right, at the other end, is actually slightly protruding out. Okay, so you just have to adjust them to balance of the both sides. Okay, balance of the both sides the best that you can, right in the middle. Same thing I'm doing for the horizontal one. So insert it. So you repeat the whole process of inserting the 4 poles to all the 4 sides to the groove of these edges. Next is to include back the aluminum frame. Now, when you put back the aluminum frame, right, you put in such a way that it actually goes and align to the middle of the screen. So you have to look at the corner, right? And at the corner, just to align the best that you can, that the screen actually goes into the center area, the very center of the screen. Now, if you feel that you have actually centralized your screen, your frame, right in the middle of the screen already, there are a few methods that you can actually do the hook, alright? Now, one of the methods is actually to start from all the corners. Let's say you start from this corner, then move on to the next corner, then move on to this corner, and then you move on to this corner for all the hooks. Now, in my personal opinion, how I actually install a screen, which is actually much more centralized, is that I hook based on the middle of the screen first. So I hook this first, then move on to hook this, and then move on to the other corner, and then comes to this middle of the screen. Then the next step I will do is I will hook into this corner, followed by this corner, and then this corner. Then I'll put hooks on the balance of the loops on the screen. All right. So let me show you how to do the very first hook. Now let's move on to take the first hook, right? Now, so how to hook? So this is a zoom in view. Now, you need to ensure that the white pole that you have inserted just now, all right, is actually at the loop over here. So when you hook this hook, you need to ensure that your hook is actually hooking on to the pole, right, as shown over here. You need to actually hook onto the pole rather than just the fabric alone. So it gives you the best tension. Then next, you just need to actually use the fork over here and then hook on to the very first groove. There it goes. This is how it's being hooked. So now then we continue the corner. So from one corner you continue on to the diagonal corner, right? So from here you continue on with the diagonal corner at the other side. So let's first start with this particular corner first. So same thing, all right? Put on your hook that is actually into the loop. Now when you loop, ensure that you actually loop with the pole, right? Then goes on to the groove, right? So then you do the same thing that is actually over here as well. So, like I said, do the other diagonal corner, and then you will complete the four corner. So now I've already completed the steps of first the middle, then the corner. So all of the middle portion is already being hooked, and then all of the corners are being hooked. So we will just need to complete all the other loops with all the hooks, and you will actually be installing the second step. So there it goes. Look at it. The screen is already all hooked up, right, to the aluminum structure. So now what is next? We move on to step number 3. So step number 3 right now is to fix all this black color frame, the outer frame, all right, onto the aluminum frame. How to do so? Without further ado, let's do it. So before inserting the black color outer frame, do take note. Take note of what? Now, this is actually the outer frame, how it looks like, right? Now, there is actually a small little portion that is actually over here, okay? This is meant to be outside. And this big part is meant to be for the inside. So how you're going to hook this up is actually very simple. What you need to do is you just leave up the aluminum frame slightly, okay? And then you just align this towards the corner, and then you snap the whole thing in. Now we have this actually angle bar that's actually being supplied in the toolbox, right? So you just need to actually use the Allen key, right, to unscrew a little so that you'll be able to actually fix in to this black outer frame. And then similarly, right, you need to join them on to the other bar. So just ensure that you hook on the black one, the outer frame, and fix all this anchor bar, and use the Allen key to tighten it so the entire outer frame will then be fixed. Now the last step is actually to put this cap. So there are 4 of these cap which is meant for the 4 corners. So what you need to do is cap it at the corner. The purpose of the cap is actually to hide all the flaws of the corners of the aluminum frame. So what you need to do is just cap it and make sure that the back of the legs just clip in. So you hear a click sound like what you just heard. So we've done step 1, 2, and 3. And this is the completed screen. Now, this is the back of the screen. You can see the aluminum frames, all right, surrounding the side of the screen. Right in the middle, you'll notice that it is actually a matte black fabric. And this is for the Fresnel screen. I repeat, Fresnel screen of 100 inch. Now, if I'm going to turn it over right now. It's going to be a silver screen whereby the real fabric of the Fresnel is going to be. This is the front side of the screen, so it's actually in dark gray. So that's how the front is going to look like, with a very slim outer frame border. All right, and there it goes. What is the next step now? Step number 4 is to mount the brackets. Now, as mentioned, it depends on the type of projector that you're using, as in the ultra short throw distance, and how, or even long throw, how would you actually fix your frame. But nevertheless, it's good to actually have a laser tool like this. You see the red line that actually balance out, right, the left and right of your screen, so that you'll be able to actually hook on the hooks on a aligned straight manner. Another tool that you can use is actually a tool like this, whereby you will be able to actually do the alignment and the balancing to ensure that it's actually a straight line on your wall. So within the package, the toolbox, it comes with this particular bracket, which is a bracket that you mount on the wall, and then what will happen is that the screen will then hook on this. You see there's actually a hook over here, right? So the screen will actually sit on this particular hook once it's up. So without further ado, let me install the hook on the wall right now. The hooks are actually being installed now, one on the left and one on the right. So now let's zoom out. Now once it's zoom out, what we do is next is to place the screen and hook it on the wall. Now I've already placed the screen just directly below the hooks right now, and this is actually the back view, right, with the aluminum frame facing me right now. So look at this. This is the aluminum frame, and at the bottom of this aluminum frame, not the lower part, but this bottom of the top frame, now this is the groove whereby we want to actually hook it on to this hook at the top, and which is the step number 5. And that's it with 1, 2, 3, 4, step 5, and now we are done. There it goes. The screen is actually being hooked up right now. So all steps 5 are being completed, and this is how the installation of the Fresnel screen, or generally all fixed screen, on how it goes. Now, if you do like our channels and like our content, do click on our subscribe button, click on the like as well, and give us a thumbs up. Do support our video, and we'll be back with more videos soon.